Hello and welcome to the next episode of Joe Martin Show. Today I'm here with Nekrotic, so can you guys introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Aiden. I'm bass and vocals.
I am Adrian. I'm rhythm guitar.
I'm AJ, lead guitar.
It's good. I'm Jason. I'm drummer.
So like how did the band start? Like what's the story behind here?
So really, I had just brought a bass to school. We had just moved here from San Antonio. I hadn't really known anybody. I had brought a bass to school, just kind of messing with it. And I had met AJ over here playing in like biology class. He had invited me to jam because his brother played drums and they were trying to get a band going. And really, that's it. We cycled through a bunch of rhythm players like throughout like the Valley, Laredo, and all that. And then we recruited my brother just to get in.
And then before that, really, it started when we were like sort of making fun of one of the names of the guitarists from Killswitch, I think, because it's just I couldn't pronounce it, and so we were just joking about that. And I was like, we could just start a band. And he was like, let's do it. And then
it really started as a joke. And then we just started taking it real serious whenever he joined.
And then we knew Aiden as Cannibal Corpse Kid because I saw him wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt once.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So really it was just, we started as a joke, just jamming, and we just moved on from there.
Our song used to be like, For Whom the Bell Tolls 50 times each practice.
Dang. And so like what kind of like for the people who haven't like seen you guys, like what would you consider like your genre, your background and influence?
Really, when it comes to influence, I call ourselves like Black and Death. It's going to be bands like, I don't know, I want to say Goat Whore's our biggest.
Yeah, we really do end up sounding like them a lot.
So as a band, it's going to be like just a lot of old school death metal, like Cannibal Corpse, Death, Exhumed, and Massacre's a big one. And one of like black metal, like Leviathan, Dystopia, like for like Crush shit. It's a bit.
Out of curiosity, like how did you guys get into like such like like metalcore, deathcore, and all that stuff? Because like when you together youth, most of them like get into rap. That's like the big like the main genre right now. How did you guys kind of like get into like this other kind of music?
I was introduced to it by, really the gateway band was the Misfits for me. That's when I started getting into heavier music, I guess. Well, Misfits aren't heavy, but that's what was the gateway for me. And then you just, you kind of progress from there.
For me, it was one song specifically by Slipknot. I think it was Before I Forget a Duality, and then I kind of branched out into like, how everyone starts with like Metallica and stuff like that, and then gateway into even heavier music for me was like Death and some of the stuff that these guys introduced me to.
Really obviously me and Asian are brothers, so really whenever we started, he was skating a lot and his friends were showing him like a bunch of different music, mostly like a lot of nu metal and like old school thrash. And he just introduced me to it and we started going down.
I remember like freshman year, because that's where a lot of it started. Because when we lived in San Antonio, it was my eighth grade and my freshman. And I think it was his 7th and 8th, or like 6th and 7th grade. So he spent all of middle school making friends with the people up there in San Antonio. And then I spent all the freshman year and I was skating, listening to music, got into bands like Korn, Slipknot, Audio Slave, Stained, one of my biggest ones. That's a big one. But we just started from there, slowly listening to more and more and more, introducing my brother to it, him liking it, both of us like, oh, I found this. What about this? This is heavier.
So the skating culture, what really like changed your trajectory? Because again, right now what's really popular is rap right now. So like,
yeah, and that's why I saw it too. I wasn't a big fan. I was a little bit, but over time I kind of got like a little tired of it. I was like, well, everything kind of sounds the same. And a lot of people can say that for death metal and metal too.
Yeah, like it's just screaming.
But it's everybody's preferences. I have a lot of different preferences just besides metal, and these guys too. Like everything doesn't have to be death metal in general. It can be any music.
The same with him introducing it to Aiden. My brother also introduced it to me. It's a band just full of two sets of brothers.
Two sets of brothers.
Guitarist and drummer, like a bunch of the other ones, like the Van Halens and stuff like that, and then bassist and guitarist.
Kind of. That's crazy. Yeah, because like I think about like my music influences, like it's because like I never got into like the metalcore into like or that's any kind of like heavy music, because like most of my music influence was from my parents, like so like a lot of 80s rock, so like it became like pop rock rather than like the heavier stuff. And even now, I mean, it's crazy seeing how when I first got into the scene, what was more popular was like indie rock, and the heavy and the hardcore was more like for the old heads, like the people were like in their 40s, whatever. And then suddenly, like there's this transitional period where now it's like the heavy scene, like that's what's really popular right now. SK, I saw them when they blew up. I mean, it was crazy When I interviewed them, they only had like 300, 400 followers, and then they blew up. And then like there's bands like you, and there's a bunch of others that are just like popping out, and they're doing pretty well. It's becoming the more popular scene right now.
With what I noticed with the scene, like I remember seeing Glare in like 2018 like blow up like that. And really the only like bands I knew down here that were heavy were like Pantheon, Visions of Annihilation, like Mind Eater. Like it was a lot of the older, Cryptic Mutation was a big one for me. A lot of the older guys. And then I saw like the hardcore scene blow up like that. I saw like Goons for the first time, like Hate Beast,
Narwhal.
Berserk. Like
Narwhal's good.
I saw the scene like blow up like that.
So we just wanted a part of it. We love it, so we just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Not even for just fame or.
Yeah, because some people, that's the only company I would have. That some people I think only do it for fame, and that's a very bad thing. Because I seen like, I'm not gonna name names, but like I seen like some people like their ego rise, and I'm kind of like,
Come on, man.
be careful. Yeah.
This is all. It's fun. It's still business as well. You know, still have business side of it, but it's part of the fun, man. Playing music
It's meant to have fun.
part of the whole experience.
I had started doing music in band for my middle school.
You're a marching band.
Yeah,
What instrument did you do?
I do drums.
Drums. Okay. Oh,
And then
percussionist.
that was kind of a gateway into like just music in general, because I started doing like traditional grip and stuff like that, like this. And one day we were going to get this guy some guitar strings, right? And I went over to the drum department where they have all the drum sets and stuff. And my dad was like, "Go ahead, go try it." And I was like, and I looked over at him, and he saw like the light in my eyes. So we got an electric drum kit for me. I started doing that. And once I knew like I really loved it, he got me my acoustic kit. And then I started playing guitar with the Washburn that he used to have. And then now I got my own guitar as well, and I can play bass, and I can play like marimba and stuff like that. So I'm pretty well versed with musical instruments as a whole.
Yeah.
But I still like to get deeper into it usually.
Are you guys like classically trained, or like more like through band? Or
It's really just him.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm the only guy that's like, oh yeah,
We're-
progressive music.
like,
I'm not the only one.
We're all like we learn by ear, not like we know what we're doing with our instruments. This is the only dude that's trying to make like progressive. He's in like
I'm the
Dream
only guy
Theater.
that's like, all right, 17 hours of music theory videos right now.
because there's usually like that one person or two people in the band that has like really like the music theory down.
The only-
and everybody else
the
is just
other
trying to
guy-
figure it out.
The only guy that also has music theory down is him.
Like,
Like
I-
he doesn't use it as much as I do.
Like I know theory, but this dude tries to make like whole orchestra pieces, man.
like that, like
Necrotic songs, and it's like back.
Oh my god. Well, isn't that where basically like some part of heavy music, heavy metal came from? It came from like classical music, like the roots of it.
it is like that, and then sometimes it just like grew like a mind of its own, and it became like this heavy like death metal thing.
One thing I can say with our music, it's mainly this one. This
that
guy,
guy.
this is him. This is
He's
Mr.
that
Manager. His brains behind it. This is Mr. Manager. He really helps. Okay, we're gonna break the song down. We want to. How are we gonna approach it? It's gonna start fast. It's gonna start slow.
Yeah.
All right. What's the tempo is gonna stay? What's gonna change? What's the directory? What's lyric pattern's gonna be? Everything.
Yeah, because when it comes to writing the song in general, like the instrumental, he's like, okay, break this down. We're gonna rehearse that 87 times, and then we're gonna do this one, and then this one, and he writes lyrics in 2 seconds.
Really,
Pros?
Yeah, he came.
Where does that background come from with the writing?
Really, I've always loved it. That's really all it is. I used to do like, I would write essays for fun in third grade. Like I was that kid. I was the dude writing for fun.
Yeah, he came and he learned the first song that we had done, that me and Alex just had done, and when we got him back the first rehearsal, he learned the entire song.
And I wrote lyrics for it in about 10 minutes.
Literally, the night we were driving him back, on the way, he wrote the lyrics and sent it to us as soon as he got
I
inside.
was like, yo, it's done. And I wasn't even in the band yet. I wasn't even in the
No, he
band
wasn't.
yet.
That was last year.
How do you do that? Like,
Honestly, man, I just because we titled all the songs first. Obviously, we have like an idea of what everything wants to sound like. Since we drawn from so many influences, we kind of need to. Okay, this is gonna be more death metal, some more black metal. Like we kind of. So whenever I have the topic, it just kind of comes. Because I use the riffs as like a basis of, okay, this is how many syllables go in each part. So it all just kind of stems from there.
is there like a theme to your songs right now, or no? Like, what do you tend to aim for?
Honestly, it's a lot, man. Like right now, all the songs we have written stem from like 80s like cheesy ass horror movies. Like the one we're working on right now is from a movie called The Blood Cult from like 85.
I never heard of it.
Bro, no,
A lot of it comes from
Nobody
riffs.
has.
a lot of the lyrics and stuff like that I've heard from him come especially from the emotion that he gets when this man throws a riff out there. He'll be riffing and then Aiden's like, he's just sitting there and he's like, oh, I like that. Throw that in, and let's base something off of that, and then an entire song spawns magically.
Again, imagery's all just. It's a mix of like old school horror, and I'm really into black metal. So it's a lot of that first wave of black metal like influence, like old school Sepultura, Celtic Frost, Hellhammer, Mayhem. Like a lot of that old Dissection's a big one for me.
Yeah, like sometimes because the thing we like to do is we like to run through the entire set. Once we have a gig, we run through the entire set once or twice, go back inside, come back outside, run it again, go back, and then we just rinse and repeat. And this guy, whenever we go inside, he's like strumming a bunch of minor triads and stuff like that he's riffing black metal like a hard.
Riffs any minute of the day. That's
Yeah.
what we're all doing. All writing stuff.
We all
any
do
minute
that,
of the
man.
day.
That's all of us.
And so, which besides like your instrument, like what kind of roles do you guys each have? Because you're basically considered like the brains of the band, I guess, right now, or the manager.
Kind
The
of.
heart.
What,
Yeah,
manager?
Aiden's the heart.
What are like each of your roles?
I contribute sometimes. I usually contribute mostly to writing tasteful drum parts, I guess. That's how he described it. I don't like to keep it as simple as some drummers that are big that just like to play a straight beat. I like to do something a little bit better, a little bit more memorable. It's like, oh, that's weird. What the? And then sometimes I contribute to riffs. Like I've written a couple of riffs that he wants to use.
Very virtuosic with the drums. Very virtuosic just in general with the
Yeah, I
instruments.
because I picked up guitar super easily because I was just practicing hours a day, and I was practicing drums hours a day too. So I would like go outside, play drums, go inside, play guitar, and then rinse and repeat that.
Yeah.
That was like my entire summer, and that's how I like built my skill. So that's what I usually like to do, and I usually sometimes contribute to the riffs.
Really, the virtuosic parts all come from him. When it comes to songwriting, anything that sounds slightly difficult is from one of these two.
This one, because he's virtuosic with the drums and everything. This guy's got.
He's crazy.
Like,
Really good riffs.
bro, musical prodigy.
How long? Go ahead and tell him how long you've been playing now.
Tell the story.
Like a year and a half.
No, because the first song he wrote, tell me how it's all in one scale.
He's been playing for a year and a half, and this dude's better than, I want to say, some people in the scene, dude. Like, he's intense.
He's better than a bunch of the guitarists that I've seen, actually.
Like this. Like I'll say this. I got my first guitar 8th grade year. It was an acoustic. I played for a little bit sophomore year. I didn't start picking it up again until sophomore year, and then I bought my first guitar. Like I was able to buy on my own, a little Strat. I still can't do what he can do with just what he's been doing in a year. He's very good. He has a lot of the. I will say, yeah, both of them are very virtuosic. Me and him kind of just put the. I don't want to just say backbone because that's not just it. There's more to it than that.
Y'all do the backbone. Y'all do write some good parts, but it's like they're like the rhythm. Like obviously, me and Aiden are the rhythm
The little
section of it.
touches, like
But
the
they're like, oh yeah, this is the basis. Now run wild with it. That's what
and that all
say.
just comes from knowing music. We study music so
much. Were you
much.
aware of like how good you were, like pretty like quick, like pretty fast, or no?
I knew that I was at a level that I shouldn't have been at, I guess.
What made you realize that point?
Mainly just like other people that I knew weren't gonna be like, oh, you're really good, like my mom and my dad, like obviously being really supportive, but like other friends just be like, man, you're pretty good at that. And
that's a big thing for me too, because I shouldn't be able to do like half the things I can do on guitar right now.
Yeah.
And then with the drums, like they were doing like a little little presentation for school, and then he mentioned me, like they mentioned the band, and it was like, yeah, it's my brother, he's a pretty good drummer and stuff like that. He won't usually mention stuff like that unless it's like
brought up, or?
Really, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's either brought up or it's like really important to mention, and he felt that was important enough to mention.
I would say when I started jamming with Alex, he had been playing for like 6 months, and he was doing near Mustaine solos.
Oh wow!
Like that man was. When he told me to been playing for 6 months, I was expecting this like just punk, just power chords.
Yeah.
Didn't you think we were like all daddy's money when you came here?
Bro, because they had been playing for like 6 months each, and they had like nicer gear than me. I've been playing for years. I'm like, oh, they just daddy's money. Like they had, No, they had the skill behind it, man.
And then this guy just rips tornado of souls out of nowhere, and Aiden's
like 6 months in, he was nailing like Tornado, Holy Wars, and all that. It was intense.
it was me that sort of had the problem, because I could do some more complicated stuff without, like, on drum set, without being like really well versed with like some of the less difficult stuff.
Yeah.
The biggest example of that is when we tried to jam Master of Puppets for like 5 months straight and we couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Studio standard 120 BPM. I couldn't do it. I was like, I couldn't keep on tempo. And now I can, because I went back and I learned to groove better. I learned to stay on tempo better and everything.
That's like the main point. They both progress like really, really fast when it comes to music, man. Like faster than I've seen out of most people.
No, it's great, because I think some people struggle with that part. Like when it comes, like when I was learning music, whatever, like it took me a while to like pick up piano, because that's what I play, a little bit keyboard piano, and it takes me a while to learn. So I'm like, okay, I'm not musically gifted, because I would see like one of my friends, she was a drum major for a band, and she can like see music and actually hear it in her mind, and like I never developed that skill. I just don't know how people can do that.
That's a good skill to have when you look at music and
And
you're
you can actually
well-versed.
like you can see it and you can hear it in your mind.
Yeah, you're well versed enough to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's how that goes.
Bro, that took years for me to develop, and it seems like both of them picked it up in like a month.
The only reason it really worked for me is because I knew all the basics.
Yeah.
That's why I was able to progress really well with music. The only thing I didn't know was the pitches and stuff like that. For guitar, I didn't know like this sounds good with that. And then once I got that down, I already had rhythm in mind because of the classically trained stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a really good skill to have, to be able to look at sheet music and just like, oh yeah, that's how that goes. Like,
And so how did you guys figure it out? Because you guys mentioned that it was all through ear.
Yeah, honestly, it was just a lot of trial and error. A lot of the like process of learning songs by ear is just I look up what tunings a band's in, and I just listen, and it's all trial and error. Just kind of mess around on the fretboard until you figure out like where they're at.
That sounds right. Maybe add this. Does that sound right? That kind of does. Maybe take out that fit. You know, just doing little things when you're playing, like that sounds right. That, and slowly just build up your
that's a
skill
good
over
skill to
time.
have for this type of music.
I would say though, it is kind of hard because some bands are mixed awfully.
Oh.
A lot of the old school black metal is mixed like you wouldn't believe.
That's
one
why,
thing we stress
yeah,
about.
that's one thing is like these guys all like black metal. I really don't, because I can't hear what's going on. I can't hear it. Usually it's mixed. I won't say like horribly bad or anything.
Yeah.
But it's not good enough to where I can hear it. So I'm like, get it away. It sounds like brown noise. Like,
That's one thing we stress about. Like when we're rehearsing and playing, we stress a lot about the mixing, what we're gonna sound like, what riffs we're gonna be using. If we write something
Sound
and
guy?
the next riff doesn't sound right, and we play it all together, it could just sound right with just the guitar. But once we
Yeah.
start including everything else, and we're like, we all kind of look at each other, we're like, that doesn't really fit. Let's see something else. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes to write a riff. Sometimes it takes 2 days. Sometimes it takes longer, shorter.
And at what point do you realize like this is a perfect riff? Let's not mess around with it too much. It's good.
When you can keep the groove going.
whenever
When-
this man says leave it alone, that's when you leave it alone.
When you
'Cause
know-
this guy, he's like, what if we move this over here instead? Like, what if we jump up a string or something like that? Whenever he says don't mess with it, that's when you don't mess with it. That's when you know it's like,
Because he knows.
that sounds
knows.
great.
He knows. And then we put it all together, and we'll
Because
just go
I'm
like
way-
this, and we're like, the song goes good. I think it's good.
I'm
Let's
way
try it a
more
couple times, and then we keep it.
I'm way more technical about that stuff. But he's like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. Leave it like that.
Yeah. And how many shows have you done at this point? So you started off when exactly again?
Dude, we have played twice live.
Twice
Twice live. And then go ahead and tell me, when did you start? When did you first start? Like, start the band?
Like I've booked us like twice here December. Like we played these past 2 shows. Do we have like 6 or 7 upcoming for the next 3 months? We're packed until like March. We have.
It's a good problem to have.
Hey, I take that over not getting shows, man.
Yeah, because
Like-
he made good friends with one of the guys from one of the other shows that we played, and they kind of like started because he knew all the venues, and this guy knows all the bands, so
Oh,
they started
okay.
like a little link,
Yeah.
and now they have
We
like
got-
their own like unlicensed agency for booking shows.
We got some real stack. Like in March, we have Victim Blame coming out from San Antonio to play at 707. Like we have a lot of stuff coming, bro. A lot of stack
don't we have
shows.
Dumock for that show too? Or is it a different one?
Different show.
Different show.
That's a different show.
That's a different show, but I mean, you're bringing all these
Hey,
bands there.
again, we're trying to, the point is, like, we're trying to bring as much exposure as possible, because right now I will say the scene is not at its high point when it comes to turnout. So we're trying to bring some of the newer bands that form to, like, new eyes.
The light.
Yeah. How did you realize that the band wasn't like its peak? Because some bands have been telling me that they feel like the scene's kind of like dying off or like dead right now, or just stagnant at least with turnout. And some of the bands are like, no, it's actually okay. So I get like conflict. I get like different.
Because
Depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I think the biggest one is, so I've been going to shows for like a bit now, and I would go to like, I don't know, 707, like where like any show.
Yeah.
And it was packed. It would be like jam packed. But I think when I kind of realized it was dead, I had went to go see Flesh Hoarder with these guys in Harlingen,
Oh yeah.
and
That
it
a good
was a dead show. Like nobody, like with bands that big, I would expect, like it was Visions of Annihilation, Hysterectomy, Flesh Hoarder. Like I would expect like
Flesh Hoarder was the headliner.
I would expect a big turnout, but dude, nobody was there.
Not a whole lot of people were there, but the people that were there were definitely into it. Like me and Alex went to Austin to see Lamb of God and Pantera, and Flesh Hoarder just happened to be there opening.
Yeah.
And one of the guys there, he was that we call him Mr. Austin, Texas, because he was like, Austin, Texas, I was there.
Like,
and there was
like-
people like spin kicking in that pit. Like I almost got elbowed like 3 times.
This, like the people that were there were into it, but the
Yeah.
turnout overall it kind of made me realize that there was like something that was up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dead. I think if you talk to the right person who's into it, they're gonna know like what's really going on. Like he knows a lot.
Yeah.
He knows a lot, and he kind of like spread it to them. Not as much to me. I'm still a little bit clueless when it comes to here, but yeah, that's just the whole thing. Like he knows a lot more.
Just overall.
Yeah.
He was part of it a lot more than before me. Even though we said like, yeah, we lived in San Antonio, all that, the scene really wasn't a thing. Not that it wasn't a thing, it just wasn't what it was now. So now that he got into it before me, and these two, I'm telling you, it's these two that really pick things up and get things
Aiden
stirred
was
up.
into the scene before I was in like middle school. Like
Oh, okay. That makes
like I'm still in middle school, and this guy was in the scene before I was in middle school.
Yeah, because I've been in the scene for like maybe 2 years, but like before, I think what would happen is that there was like mixed shows, like they had different genres together, and that's why I guess it felt like a little bit more full. Because now I feel like I'm more into like the indie scene, the out rock scene, whatever, and like there seems to be like a split between the hardcore scene and like everybody else.
Yeah.
There's not that much like intermingling.
There's really not. I think that's what the advantage like San Antonio has. Like there's shows going on that have from like death metal to like shoegaze.
Oh wow.
Like they have.
In one show.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of brings every crowd to one spot, and I think that's why it looks a lot more full.
that could be it.
I think if you get the right bill together, I think the scene was still. I still think it's still thriving.
Then
And
give
that's-
new bands like a platform.
Oh yeah, I've noticed a lot of new bands coming up, but nobody's really like they haven't gotten booked or they haven't played a show or anything. So I'm doing my best to try and bring everybody
The
out.
fact that you're able to solve that is really good because I have seen that where like there's new bands or there's even some bands that have been like a band for a while, but like you still struggle to get shows.
And I don't really, because it got kind of tiring to see like the same like 4 or 5 bands like dominate every bill. Like they would, like each of them was headlining it, like no matter what. So I'm trying to bring.
So you see a different flyer, but it's the exact
It's the same
names.
bands, yeah.
And we're just like, well, yeah, it's cool, but like,
Like it's not the band's fault. It's just there's not
Same
enough
band,
going
different
on.
same show, different venue.
Yeah.
And speaking of the advantages that San Antonio has, I think me and Alex might move to San Antonio. I don't know how long from now. I don't know if it's even gonna be this year. But I know that when he moves out and like they're gonna try to get like a house together, they're gonna call it the Necro House.
We're just
telling you, there's a lot of opportunity up there, especially with all the bands up there. There's a lot of
just trying to mix everything up, man.
There's definitely a more
Diverse one, yeah.
concentrated scene there than there is here because it just kind of spilled down here.
just trying to get everybody together. Everybody
Yeah.
have fun. Everybody needs to not be so mean. Everybody enjoy the music. Have fun together in the same place. You know?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the only way where bands from here need to go to San Antonio bands need to come down here. Like
That's really what I'm trying to do.
that and
man.
Laredo, of course.
Yeah, those two.
Laredo seems
Laredo Necrovision.
What's that?
There's a band over there because Necrovision, bro. They hit. We're trying to bring them down here.
Here. There's lots of bands we want to bring down here, man.
Please.
Dude, I understand the struggle. Like sometimes I want to bring bands over here, and sometimes it gets difficult.
But actually, I'm working on getting a Chicago death metal band down here called Morbidity.
They want us to go up there too during the summer.
We're trying
Oh
to-
shit!
They want us to play one of the local shows. They showed me a local show, and I wasn't super into it because it looks like a big place. It look their local show.
Their local shows
That's
look like
their-
our concerts, bro.
Their local show looks not. It looks like a smaller version of the venue that we saw Pantera at. Like it's
Damn.
like an enclosed version of Pantera is what it looks like.
Really cool.
Jeez. Next, I get curious about that, and that the other part is that there's a scene that we're not really like incorporating, which is like Mexico, because there was this band called the Writing Season. They're bringing bands from like Reynosa and all that stuff, and they're great rock bands, but like finding each other becomes a difficulty.
There was one. Who was it? What band was it when we saw Flesh Order?
It was hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy. Oh,
They were
their
tight.
drummer is crazy.
Like
He's
we had
so good.
went to go see God Eater at the Gremlin. A lot of the bands were from, or at least one of them was from Matamoros. I think they're called like My Place Was Taken or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, they were one of the fucking like best bands of the night. So, like I'm doing my best. I'm trying to find people out there, San Antonio, Laredo, everywhere. Just trying to bring people down here and mix it up. Trying to bring new bands, new eyes.
No, that's great. I think that's what more people need to do, because again, if you keep seeing the same bands over and over again, some people become like they stop going to shows just in general. It's like, yeah, well,
I'll
I
catch
can
you
go.
next
I
time.
can catch it next time. Exactly.
That's
Like
the
I
mindset
already
I'm
saw
sick of
this. I
seeing.
can catch it next time. Like it's not.
But if you're able to bring bands from like other areas, then it's like, okay,
Okay,
maybe we gotta
maybe,
go.
maybe I can't
Then
catch
there
them
will-
next time.
Yeah,
Then
and
there
more
will
likely you
be-
won't catch it next time.
Then there will be a reason to go instead of like, oh, this is the same show I saw last week, or this is happening again.
Oh, same headliner. Like I feel like if the more people switch it up, man, the turnout will get a lot better.
But again, it's gonna require people like you to be doing that, because if other promoters, again, there's not to like talk bad about like other local promoters, but like if they're just doing the same bands over and over again, I mean,
I don't blame them though, man. It's real hard to find bands and all that, hard to find connections.
yeah.
It's either there's good bands that want to shot at something, but they don't just have the chance. They just happen to don't have it. Or the bands that do get shows are just
Yeah.
very bad, and they kind of not ruin the show, but it's kind of just like well, that set the tone. I don't think I want to be coming back here. You know, that's why it's kind of hit or miss for these promoters. You know?
Nobody's really like, they're just, what we're trying to say is like, nobody's trying to take the risk on it. Like they're afraid, like if this band's bad and they've never played here, I'm not like, I don't want to throw my neck out there for them.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of sucky part about it, because
Yeah, that is the part, because like when you're a promoter, like you kind of want the most return for your money. So like that kind of forces you to get like the bands that you know for sure bring a draw.
Like nobody
So
wants,
it'd be- yeah, so like it kind of like who?
like nobody really wants to take a risk on anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I don't blame them, but it kind of does make the scene kind of repetitive.
yeah.
Like,
That's
this
why I
last
think.
time we played a gig in December, they brought Havrath out, and that brought a pretty big crowd.
Yeah, they always bring crowds.
Yeah, and they were great. I ended up loving Havrath. They were like, "You're gonna love Havrath." I'm like, "I'm not sure," and I was like,
Yeah, their drummer was the first person to like get me excited for percussion, because not to like put down other drummers, but like normally like it's like okay, whatever, they do whatever. But then when I saw Matt, he went crazy, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're
he asked to borrow my hi hat at that show. He asked to borrow the hi hats, and he was like, "I don't want to be that guy, but can you make it taller?" And I was like, "I'll do it," because I lost a piece or something to my hi hat stand, and now it can really only go my height, and that's about it.
It's funny
'Cause I'm
that
short.
that was his introduction to Havrath. Can I borrow your hi-hat?
Yeah, that was, 'cause I was putting away the drums. We were like,
there you go.
and he was like, "Hey man, I don't want to be that guy, but do you think I can borrow your hi hat?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, absolutely, you can borrow my hi hat."
This dude just got in the scene, so it's funny. Like
they're
his,
asking you for stuff.
like his first introduction is like, "Hey man, can I borrow your hi-hat?"
Yeah, and I obviously,
Yeah.
I ended up loving them, no hate or anything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that was a funny experience for me. It was like, "Can you make it taller?" I was like, "Oh."
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Those guys are great.
Oh, bro, I loved seeing him playing with them.
the
Was
sweet picking solos and stuff like that, man. That was great.
And I think what's like really interesting about them in specific is that the typical rule in bands is like you shouldn't perform too much, because then bands lose their draw, because obviously you can catch them the next time. But they constantly perform, and they still always bring they always bring a crowd. So it's very interesting seeing them that they broke that rule where they can have shows whenever they want, and they still
pull the same.
and they still put us without affecting their draw.
They have that presence, man. They have
Yeah.
that.
They really do, especially with like the bass solo. and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, T-Bone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro, one of the most insane players I've seen from the scene.
he's because I had a Cliff phase. I wasn't even a bassist yet. Like I'm still not really a bassist, but I can play. And I had a Cliff phase when I was still like only a drummer, and that's one of the things that got me into playing guitar because I didn't have a bass. So I was like, I'll play next best thing guitar. And then we got there, and they said, I'm gonna let T-Bone hit you with the hardest bass solo, and I was like, and he started playing like a remix, almost like not really, but it was sort of similar to Anesthesia, and I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god, it's Cliff Part 2.
This dude was in the back. We looked back at him. He was like enthralled. He said it was like seeing Cliff live again.
It was like it was.
Yeah, when it comes to basses, the two best ones, well, T-Bone's one of them. The other one is the band. Have you seen Riley?
I haven't. I've never catch him yet.
Their bassist is pretty good too.
Wait till you see this guy. Yeah. He's insane.
I think other than T-Bone, the best I've seen live is from actually the dude from Visions of Annihilation. Bro, one of the fucking best bass players I've seen.
Grotesque Lord.
Destructive Sound.
Like a lot of the old heads, bro, their bassists are like virtuosos.
Damn.
Was it Visions? The guy with like the... Yeah, because he had like a 6-string bass. He had like a 6-string bass, and I have some videos of him.
Yeah.
He's going hog wild on the bass.
And they're still there from here, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, dang.
I have some videos like...
I had seen him at that Flesh Hoarder show I mentioned, actually.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, that's where we saw them. I think they were the band 1 or 2 before Flesh Hoarder. And I have some videos of me straight up like... like getting the finger action of the bass, man.
Real cool, bro.
He was awesome. He definitely put on a good show, especially for just because we were just on that side. And I don't know which band it was, but they called out Alex because Alex decided to go in the show in a Bucky's costume.
The Bucky's onesie.
What did they say or what happened?
He was like, "Oh my god, we got Bucky in the house."
That's one thing we want to do for shows, man. Like that's one thing we plan. If you see us, if you see it in the future, yes, it's us. We want a gorilla suit. We need a 1960s Batman. We need Bucky, and we need Scooby-Doo onesie. We all need that in the hardcore pit.
I'll be Shaggy.
So if y'all see any of those in the future in the hardcore pit, it's us. It's us, okay?
If you see all 4 of them, we're going bananas. It's us.
Dang, no, that's cool. Like I think it makes bands stand out as well because like the costumes and everything, and then because I remember back then the band Asylum, they would have like the gorilla that they would like bring to shows and they would throw in the mosh pit.
There's one, I don't remember the band, but this guy told me about like they would bring out like a gnome out of their...
we play with them tomorrow. It's my friends in Acacia's Cree down in San Antonio.
It's them?
Yeah, they would bring out a gnome.
A gnome. People go insane.
It makes it stand out, man.
Yeah.
Cause
like what kind of gnome is it? Like just like the ceramic one?
Like a garden gnome, bro. Like a straight garden gnome.
Like Project X kind of garden gnome.
Yeah.
Like just the garden gnome.
Because we're also hoping to get a little bit bigger, at least like 1,000.
Yeah.
Because we do have a plan for the future.
Hey, keep that. I'm
gonna keep that
low key, bro.
I can't say it.
It's all about fun, man. That's the point.
Yeah.
Because on top of music, it is a live performance too.
Yeah.
Because they said in the scene, like if you want to have some comedy into it, you got to be a little bit bigger for people to like take it like that, or else you just look like a idiot up there.
There's a wrong spot to do it, man. If you debut and you're trying to be funny, it kind of gives the wrong vibe of your band.
Yeah, they think like comedians or yeah.
So once you find the sweet spot, it's a lot of fun, man.
And what made you guys go with that choice? Because like you mentioned, it's one thing just performing your instrument, but it's also like throwing on a show itself. It's a whole different thing.
I think the big one for me is when I had seen a band called Narwhal. I had seen him live. I don't know what kind of onesie that man was wearing, but
it was like a Pikachu thing, but I don't know what the head was. I know the body.
I seen them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I have no clue what it was, but it got me interested, man.
It was interesting.
Awesome.
Because I was kind of distracted, like in between sets, and when I saw like a vibrant ass color in the corner of my eye, I turned around and some dude in a onesie. So.
Like,
and honestly, that's perfect.
Got Mr. Man up there, like they got the thing up there.
It's honestly perfect because most of the people in the scene wear black. So like if you're wearing like bright colors,
you stand out like that.
You're gonna stand out.
I was super grateful for one of the guys that also sort of dresses up because it was Concrete for Dumac. They called us out,
bro. The bassist from Dumac dresses up. Like I see a lot of the ski masks and all that.
Yeah,
it's just all about standing out. That's really it.
How do you guys plan to stand out?
Dude, like beside the music itself,
We're gonna
just bringing high stage energy. That's what it is.
we're gonna put me on one of the spinning things that Joey used to go to. That
Nah, but
that he was gonna spin up.
besides like just the music and all that, it's just all about, not just standing dead still on stage.
Yeah.
Just high stage energy. And not everything has to be funny, just moshing with the crowd if you have the chance, just doing whatever you can to make sure that people remember you.
I think that's great because that's what Martin does as well. When they do like the bass solo, Martin actually jumps off stage and goes and joins the crowd, and like they're not afraid to like be with the crowd. Because some bands, they don't have that connection with the crowd, so like
That's
it becomes
a big
weird.
one, man.
Yeah.
If you can't like interact with your audience, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're there. If they're there to see you, you got to let them know, like, hey, like we see you, like you're here.
Yeah. And so like, what are like your plans for like, I guess down the line? Like, what are you guys trying to accomplish with the band?
Man, honestly, there's nothing. We're not trying to make a living or anything. We're not really trying to accomplish anything. We're just kind of going along, see what happens. Every show's different. Every show brings a new crowd, new energy.
Having fun.
If it's high energy,
People.
if it's high energy, man, we're putting our shit down. We're throwing down at the crowd.
It's awesome, man. Just love playing music. That's really it.
That's really it. Do you guys plan to like eventually like I guess record music?
Oh, very soon, man. Our goal is to drop like, I don't know, 4 or 5 song EP this summer. So if we can get that done, man, I feel like get our name out there a bit more, because people don't gotta catch us to see us, to like listen.
Because there's always gonna be like a common question. Like as soon as you guys finish your performance, like do you guys have it on Spotify or Apple Music or something? And then you're like,
Right now we just have
Right now.
3 originals, and we just finished a 4.
oh, so you do have music already online,
Nah, we haven't.
Finished songs.
We have 4 originals ready.
ready?
ready to record. The second we can get the funds to like take it to a studio or something, man, we're dropping it like that.
Dang.
And we'll know when the right time is. 'Cause it's got to be perfect. It's got to be right, just right.
And no matter like what choice, honestly, there's good studios here, and then like I'm pretty sure like if you also go to San Antonio, there's gonna be like a lot.
There's studios everywhere, man. Honestly, we're just trying to find, as long as we can get a good sounding mix, that's all that matters.
Man, we're not really too particular with like how like everything. Not that it works, but we just really like making friends and having fun with everybody. If everybody's into the same stuff we are, like if I see another band we're playing with, and after the show we just go say what's up. Like that was a badass set. Hopefully we'll play next time. Stick around for my set. Hopefully you guys have fun with ours. And that's really it. It's a lot of people think it's not that you can't be in the scene or you got to do certain things, or there's a lot of gatekeeping. I see that sometimes. Some people like to gatekeep a lot and like to keep stuff, or like
you'll see that once in a while.
you can't do this. You'll see it sometimes, but really whenever, especially us, when we all just go to a show, we walk in and we're like, "What's up, everybody? Like, we're here for the show. We're ready to throw down." Like, that's really what it is, man. You got to bring the good energy to the crowd, because if it's not there,
Yeah, and sometimes like if you're at that show, like if you're the ones who could bring the energy in, why not?
They did that last time because there wasn't like a big crowd at the beginning, and these guys were like they were throwing a circle pit like for no reason.
Yeah, like the opening, I think it was Salem opening it. Like nobody was really moving or anything. We started like a circle pit for their first song.
circle pit.
It's all-
I saw them like marching like that.
It's all about bringing the fun, man. That's all it is. That's all we're here for.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I forgot what show it was. I remember going to a show at 707, and almost everybody was like outside the circle, and there was just like 2 kids like doing like a spin kicks or anything.
Yeah, that's when you crowd kill.
That's when you start hitting the crowd to bring everybody in.
You pull them in, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that was fun. Like watching them. Like, okay, there's people like actually bringing energy, and that's always great to see.
If
People
you-
start taking out their phones quickly and start like recording. Like
No, like how about instead of put your phone away, like jump in with everybody.
it's because like that show there's like mostly like older folks, so like they were just watching the show. They
Nah, I
weren't like
feel
trying
you.
to like join in.
I feel you.
Yeah,
That's what we do before shows. Before a show, we'll all group up at the table.
gotta,
and
like,
we're
check the crowd.
All right, we check the crowd. We're like, we know what's gonna play. All right, empty the pockets. We empty our phones, wallets, headphones, everything. Let's go have fun.
I'm not usually that. I don't really like to mosh.
Yeah.
That's not really my thing. That's definitely all 3 of them thing. That's
Yeah.
all 3 of them. Like they'll group up. These last 2 shows they'll group up and they were like, okay, but what's gonna happen? This band is going first. Okay.
All right, we gonna get
Empty.
ready.
Let's go.
Let's start mixing shit up. That's all it is, man. It's fun.
no, yeah. That's since you have like all this good energy and like the fact that you guys are social, because some bands just take off like after they leave. Like
Oh
after
fuck
the set.
no, man.
Yeah,
We put
That's
even
the
if we're
first thing he told me.
even if we're going like 4th, we'll pull up whenever the first band is sound checking.
If our gear's gonna stay in the truck, it's gonna stay there.
What's-
If our gear's gonna be put off to the side, we're not going on till like 5th there's like 8 bands, you know, we're pulling up for the first one. We want to see everybody what everybody's got.
Yeah.
We're there for every
Catch
band.
everybody.
There for every band. We're like the last ones to leave, man. We try to support after every set. We try and go say what's good to everybody. That's really we're trying to show the love, man, in the scene.
That's how he made friends with the guy from Reverie.
Yeah,
Yep.
the guy I'm actually booking with, man. We just said he just came to say what's good after the set. Started booking shit. It's all it is. Once you spread the love, you don't know what kind of friends you can make.
Exactly. That's very important because some people don't realize that there's this like social aspect of the scene where okay, yes, you played your sets, you finished everything, but like you still need to talk to people.
Yeah, your songs.
Scene's all social, man.
Yeah, your songs are sick, but like if people think you're an asshole, then nobody's gonna mess.
Yeah, they're gonna undermine even any talent you have or what you put out, even if it's good. If you're just
Gonna leave right after your set, not say what's good to anybody.
Yeah.
And what will probably happen is they probably won't even remember you. That's probably what will happen. You know, it's not good to be that person, bro. Have fun, be social.
As long as you
be
bring-
a part of what you want to be a part of.
As long
yeah.
as long as you bring the energy and show some love to everybody, people will fuck with you. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's really and that's how you make connections. And that's what I kind of learned because like for me, I'm sort of an introvert, but like when I go to shows, like I have to put myself out there and actually talk with people. Because some people think like I'm like really social because of podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Hey, bro, I feel you. I'm not the most social dude ever, but the scene kind of taught me to. All right, even when I don't want to, I gotta go say what's good to everybody because they did do good. They supported me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's 5, 10, 15, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and like as soon as like I leave a show, like I feel like really drained. So I'm like kind of like, oof.
All right. I'll fall asleep in the car right after.
We're done
Yeah.
in the truck and we're just like,
Both
Bro,
times.
after our debut, these two guys are like even after like every show we go to, these two guys are always like out cold the second they get in the car.
Yeah, like what happened? We went to Whataburger both times.
Yeah.
That's just a tradition that we're doing now. To Whataburger, whenever we're with my dad, we went to Whataburger and we got everything. We ate it. Me and Alex immediately after, we passed out. Both me and him were snoring. This last time, Adrian spilled some ranch on the truck floor.
It's just everybody's always out cold, bro. These shows take so much energy out of you,
They
but
do.
hey, it's all fun.
Except that first one really took it out because it was like 6 bands instead of what it was like 4 the second time. It was like 6 bands. We left at like 12 and we were back at my house at like 2.
Hey man, it's all part of the fun.
It's part of the fun, yeah. It's the thing. Like I was talking with another promoter, and he was saying the same thing. Where like even though we don't perform, we become like hyper fixated on like, okay, is the show going well or not? And even that becomes like super draining.
Oh,
so
no,
like it's one thing seeing like you guys like perform and going out there and go crazy, but like for us, it's kind of like it becomes like a mental thing where like okay,
Like you can't even enjoy the show anymore because you're kind of like, okay, how's everybody reacting? How's this going? What's the turnout?
And that's why like sometimes like when I had a show, Tony, the owner of the Gremlin, because he was doing the sound, he saw me like saying like you need to calm down. I'm like okay. It's
Stressing.
Like, yeah, you start stressing out. Yeah. It becomes like again, because you're a promoter, you want everyone to have fun. You want to make a return on your money, and you want to make sure everyone's having a great time. So like,
You kind of stop having a great time yourself.
yeah,
No, I feel you there, man. Talking to bookers and all that, what I kind of noticed is that's kind of why the DIY shows are so fun because it's not exactly a booker. Sometimes it's just a dude with a really big backyard. Who decided?
That's what we were gonna do this one, right? Tomorrow, I think the original plan was like play in a backyard, but then they got like a
that
thing.
was for the we go to play Tandem in February 3rd.
what's that?
Tandem in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
It's completely DIY show. And I'm saying that's kind of where, okay, now it's not really a book or drain because it's a dude who's just kind of deciding to throw a show to get it for fun.
Yeah,
We're also doing that guy's house, no? The crazy guys where people like hang from pipes and stuff.
Oh, that's another story, bro. We leaving that be.
Oh my god.
That's all plans, man. That's all plans.
That's all plans.
I'm telling you, there's a lot. I'm telling you, there's a lot we have planned. There is a lot. What what he's been allowing us to show, and because everything also that we take pictures of and we take videos of. Not that it has to run through him, but like it does. It kind of does. It kind of does at the same time.
It doesn't have to, but it just ends up running through me.
Yeah, because we can't. If we're gonna run through a new song, I can't just record it on my phone in the garage and then post it later, bro. Like we run it through him first, and then everything gets ran through him, and a lot of it is smartly saved. A lot of it he keeps to the side, and he's like, "I know the perfect time for this. Let's do this now. Let's focus on this. We know what we need to do now. Let's get our plans for the
and
future."
somehow he's always right. Like
Like
he's never wrong.
some of the older snippets we posted, we had him in the bank for like a month but we waited for our debut flyer to get posted on, and we kind of used it to build hype. Like, hey, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing.
Honestly, that's a great idea because some bands don't like focus on social media, and like that's also important. Like to like put your name out there. And from what I was being told, like the most important platform right now is TikTok. I know most people think like, oh, TikTok, whatever, but like,
Oh no, man! Even though like I don't have TikTok myself, but I do see like if you post your content right, you can blow up like that.
Yeah, even like on other social media like Instagram, Facebook, and a bunch of like whatever, you still need video content.
Like Instagram is our main platform. That's where you can really catch most of our shit.
Yeah.
And that's where all of our snippets get posted. But I know if I were to post them on like TikTok or something and kind of move the fan base over there, oh, they could blow up if they reach the algorithm right.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which what we're trying to do. He runs Instagram. I have little TikToks. I
have a YouTube. I haven't posted a whole lot though.
We're trying to slowly introduce.
Just kind of branch out.
Trying to get this name out there. We
some
got to
stuff-
get people to see this name. Once they see it, they're interested.
I had some stuff up there, but we really listened to it and we're like, no, bro, take that down. Like,
Nah, bro. But like I know you asked about a Spotify earlier. We had like some old like kind of demo tracks of our older songs, like or older takes of our current songs, and they were rough, man. They were rough.
it was just me and him. Nobody else was.
It was just like them on like drums and lead guitar, and then I joined, so it was just bass, like a 3-piece. But
And how long did it go without me?
the mixes were bad, man. The mixes were bad, so we dropped that shit like that.
Yeah, it was very bad. And then them struggling to find guitar players, just constant.
Oh, we were.
We cycled through like 5.
We were
Five.
a little more than that, man. It was like closer to like 8 or 9. We were, and a lot of them didn't even make it to rehearsals. So
Not to name names either. It's just they tried to get this to work so much, and then finally he asked me. He's like,
can you just join,
"Can you
please?
just join, dude. You live here. Can you just?"
Like, you're my brother. Can you just join?
Yeah.
And you know how to play. Can you fill in the mix? I'm like, fuck it, let's
And
have
this
fun.
guy-
So I just joined.
This guy, when he joined, like that, just the entire thing,
Bro,
it just pieced together.
Everybody clicked like that. First rehearsal, we wrote a whole song.
Yeah, and he first he listened to it, rearranged the thing, and then we wrote the rest of it.
Like
And
we
that became the second song that we have called Mangled and Defiled.
synergy was just there, bro.
Yeah.
Literally got the song. I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. New song. Nice.
It's like
Got it.
the little dust in the cartoons with like the
Yeah,
and the
the-
hands coming out.
Right.
That's
There now.
that like I would say that's what like I know you asked about like contribution earlier. This kid can like figure out where everything should go perfectly just by listening. Like he can figure out where this should be a solo, it should be a build up to a break. Like he can just listening to a riff, he knows where it should go without listening to everything else.
And
Do
I
you know where
think-
that comes from or no?
Just studying music, man. I love listening to so much music, so much genres, rap, metal, reggaeton, country, R&B, you name it, man. If it sounds good, it's most likely going to be in my ears depending on my mood. And I just learn how to pick up structure. I just love the way it sounds. Like if I can hear a Goat Horse song, I'm like, I know what could come next. If it's going to start like this is probably how the song is going to go. If you give me like a death metal song, you give me a Bolt Thrower song, then you can give me like Cigarettes After Sex song. You can give me like a Glare song. You can give me Violent Vera. Those songs are real good. Like
Literally anything, bro.
It's literally anything, man. I love anything.
The only one that doesn't have like a structure, like you can't tell what's coming after it, is Knife.
That's really it.
Because
Like-
there's a weird build-up like in the middle, and it's a
Every-
build-up to another build-up to a solo. And that solo is like 2 seconds long. And then there's another solo after that, like another bar.
Like most of our songs are pretty well organized except for that one. That one's just kind of all
that
over
was
the
kind of,
place.
it's like, it's organized for the first little bit. And it's like, okay, this is like a death metal song. And then what is that? Like,
Song's called Knife in the Flesh for a reason. You're getting like beaten battered with I tell them you get beaten battered with the riff sometimes because you jump in and out. That's one thing. When we write it, they put a lot of structure in it and like the organization. It sounds like a proper song, but there's still that little edge that we have. And I just love it. Anything we write, I get excited. Even if I'm the one writing it, I'm getting excited like, oh, it sounds tight. Like I can't wait for the pit.
This experience for me, it's different because I was really used to listening to music with a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
And then these guys are like, all right, no riff.
No
It's like, We're
riff.
not
No
gonna
riff,
repeat that
okay.
riff. It's like, no, we're
like
doing a new riff.
a lot of our songs don't really have like a verse or a chorus, like where a riff kind of repeats.
Yeah, the only one that really does.
Like
Yeah,
there,
the main part.
like there's a structure to it, obviously, but a repetition really isn't there in a lot of our songs.
The repetition is usually this riff. It repeats another time, new riff. That's
And a new variation. So
New
it's going to
variation.
be the same sound, but it's going to
But
be in a different
a
variation.
lot of it's a lot of like the bells and whistles and shit.
yeah.
So that's what we
one-
mean when like we beat you at the beat, man.
Yeah.
You're going to go back and forth, slowing down with your head in the pit. And
The
you're going to
only
want to
one-
pick it back up, and it's
The only
it's
one
awful.
that has a kind of structure like that is the first song that me and him wrote called Courtyard of the Black Cross. Basically, the structure of it is intro, chorus, verse, verse again into like a little bridge, chorus
And that's an
two
ending.
times, and that's it. That's
the
like,
only one that's
a
proper.
set chorus.
That's the only
That's,
one
like
proper.
that's
The only
a
one with like
normal-
real structure. Everything else is
that's
just
a structure that you can find places.
everything else is just
Everything
feel,
else
bro.
different.
And was this done on purpose, or did you just like accidentally like, bump into that?
This is just how like specifically me. This is just how I progress as a musician.
Yeah, that song is all him. All of Courtyard is just him. I just kind of filled in the little rhythm part for it.
I'm gonna say this. Whenever I joined, they already had 3 songs finished. We just finished one, Blood Cult, like we just mentioned. That was the first song I contributed a good chunk of. When I joined, I want to say late October. Late October is when I joined, and before that, they were doing this for a whole year. I joined late October, and then we kind of redid the 3 songs that they already had with me in it now. So now I filled up the mix, added stuff if we needed to, add more rhythm parts, just doing all that. And then we finally did our first full song, and things are pretty taken off, man. We love it. Not that we were hesitant at first if we were gonna stick with it, because especially these 3, when I wasn't in it, they were hesitant and they were back and forth a lot, trying different genres, trying different riffs. I remember him coming home to me like, dude, we found a new riff, or we got a new song, and the
Yeah.
next day it's gone. We're not using it. Like that's what they did, man.
The bad thing about it when it was just me and Alex is me and him I guess had like no push to keep going because we wrote one song and we were like, okay, that's done.
Yeah.
I think that's good. And then we got Aiden and we were like, okay, learn that. And then riffs just kind of popped in and
Started
then,
liking their stuff more.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
October when he came in, pulled it together like
It goes
nice
back.
little bow on top.
It goes back to the band just starting for fun. Like
Yeah.
we would write and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's good for now.
It's pretty good for now.
Like,
that's how Courtyard was. It was
like,
like,
we
oh, that
weren't e-
sounds pretty cool. That sounds like something I listen to.
We weren't
That's
we weren't even planning on gigging for a while, honestly.
Yeah.
For real?
Like whenever we formed, gigging was not at the front of our mind. We're just, hey, we're having fun.
We reached the 1 year anniversary of the band before we got our first gig.
We were under
Yeah.
a different name. It was all just we switched we switched sounds a lot. We went from like
Go ahead and tell them the name, Aiden.
no,
I'll tell him the first. I'm not gonna say
you
the
ain't
first.
doing that. You ain't doing that.
We're not doing that.
We-
We're
It's
not
The
doing
secret name. Y'all will never know that.
It's a
Y'all
secret
never
name.
know.
You're never
When
gonna
we
get to know.
formed, it just started as like old school thrash, like Megadeth, Metallica, and shit.
Yeah.
And it just slowly progressed like heavier and lower tunings and
I don't
shit.
even know. I don't even know how that happened. Like Alex listened to Grotesque Impalement by Dying Fetus once, and he was like, "That's our tuning."
That's our C sharp standard. We went from C to C sharp like that just because of Dying Fetus song.
And
The
find them
original-
switching a lot.
Yeah.
They switch genres. He would come home like, we're in E. We're in E flat. Yo, we're in D. Yo, we're in C. Now we're in C sharp. I think we're going to stay in C sharp, but we might try B. So be prepared. Like, oh my God, man. Switching tunings, but
Yeah.
Just trying and seeing what works, what doesn't.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
all fun. I love it. It's really fun though to like try different tunings, try different genres, include more blackened into this song, more death metal into this song, so you get a mix of everything.
That's what was happening with these past 2 songs that we wrote, which were Knife and Blood Cult, because we did a lot more death on Knife,
Yeah.
and so this one they were like, okay, let's incorporate a little bit more black, like closer to black metal.
Because
A lot more black
because
metal
we
influence in this new song.
we do call ourselves like black and like death thrash. So we do try and mix it up. Like, okay, this song's more thrash than anything. This one's more black metal. This one's more death. Like we do try and have like one main genre and the other 2 are backing it.
And I think it's great that you have that because another part that some bands struggle with is marketing. And if you're able to say this is the exact genre we are,
This is what we are.
yeah, then I guess from the promoter's perspective, it's like, okay, I can fit them in this lineup, and it becomes so much easier.
Because they don't have like 18 hyphens in their name
and they
trying
don't
to
have
figure
guess. Promoter doesn't have to be like, well, they could fit.
They could fit
maybe
here,
with the
and then
hardcore
they would like listen to all your songs and then make up their minds and like, okay,
Yeah.
this is where you can
they
place
can
you.
just kind of look at our name. Oh, okay, black and death thrash.
That also goes-
the
And our-
bio, the
and our logo.
and like
Yeah.
we know where to put you.
You could also look at that as more of going back to the whole structure part of it.
Yeah,
Is because the whole seeing what works and what doesn't because we were first like old thrash. We were like Venom, Metallica, like really old thrash, and then we went to a little bit more,
Progress more and more and more.
yeah, into a more deeper, darker sound.
More
And
goat horror, acid bath.
Yeah, more stuff like that. We were gonna do an acid bath song for a cover, and then we were just like, nope.
It's all.
Do you guys perform covers or no?
We try to shoot for like maybe one cover, 2 covers at max. Like at our debut, we covered. Actually, we switched instruments. I gave him my bass, and I did just vocals, and we covered fucking "Hostile" by Pantera. And then at this second gig, we covered "Slave New World" by Sepultura.
Yeah.
And I think our upcoming one's gonna be "Cryptic Realms" by Massacre.
Massacre. Gotta have some massacres.
So really, we try and like, obviously we have more originals and covers, obviously, but we do try and like throw one recognizable song so people are like, oh, I know this one. I know.
And the crowds like that. Yeah, crowds like that when they're familiar with one song.
I know this one.
Let's go.
I know this one goes.
And where do you need to play the cover? Because some bands, I think they put like either it's the first song or maybe the last song or.
Honestly, we're not a big. At this debut, we did do fucking Hostile last because we had to switch instruments and shit.
And for
But everything else, we like to throw our covers in the dead middle of our set because we feel like the crowd gets accustomed to our songs, and then we throw in something that sounds kind of like us, but they're already familiar with it.
Yeah.
So they can like, oh, these are what these guys sound like.
this is what similar to them. This is what they're gonna be sounding like, and maybe I can catch them again. It just builds the interest, stuff like little things, little covers, little stuff we do, little marketing tactics. Every little bit, man, gets a little.
Because that's another thing you could also use. Like if you like these bands, you're gonna like our band.
Yeah, that's really why we put it in the middle. Because I feel like if we put it at the end, it kind of seems like it's like no disrespect to people who do it, but for us personally, it does seem like it's looked at as filler.
Yeah,
Like if you threw it at the end, like okay, you needed one more song and you just picked a cover.
Oh, okay.
Like that makes sense. Like we're not trying to be looked at as that.
We literally think of every aspect. We try to think of every direction to come into when it comes to this thing. Man.
No, you have to because again, it's not just a band, like just your music. It's your branding, how your image, how people see you guys, and all that stuff. I mean, it's all important.
Yeah, man, it's very, very, very important, especially with how people look at you, and that's why on the band, that's why this man controls everything, kind of on the main Instagram because he knows what to post, and it's not always gonna be the most serious thing. That's why if you guys follow us on Instagram, you'll sometimes see like us post our flyers. You're gonna be like,
yeah,
yo, new Necrotic gig, I'm fucking wild. And the next post, you're gonna see me hitting the moonwalk in the garage while we're rehearsing. Like it's fun stuff like that, man. And then when people see that, like you got your fun side, you're not trying to be so like serious.
I feel like when you're so serious, you look like all these old school death metal bands that like all their Spotify is them like sitting like this, like in front of like a concrete wall. But if you're too unserious, then you come looking like you're comedians, like you're trying to like make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
So
and it really clashes like with your genre. So like you just
like they'll be sitting on the couch like for a pie and be like, "We're guts all over the wall." Like no, dude. Like we're not. No, we're Necrotic. What's up? We're gonna talk about stuff. We're gonna have fun. We're like that's how the vibe should be.
He did talk in he talked in that voice the entire show, the first one. That's how he introduced us, and that's how he introduced himself and everything.
Hope you guys are having fun.
He was like, "What's up for the crowd?" Like he was like that.
It's just all about keeping the crowd engaged, man. That's really it.
And did it work or no?
Oh, it worked. It worked.
It actually worked
even when
well.
they give us the whole.
What the hell?
You
Yeah.
only get a weird look, man. Weird looks are good.
Because Gene Simmons said, any publicity is good.
Hey, I wouldn't go that far.
Almost every publicity.
Don't quote Gene Simmons.
Don't quote Kiss in our podcast. Don't do that one.
No, but I mean, there is truth to it where like it's better to have attention than no attention sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless you're some of these other bands, then you don't want that. You don't
want that. But we're definitely a more lighthearted. Yeah, we go on our page, you're gonna hear the music's very intense. The lyrics are gonna be very obscure and all
like
that. But
the music's about as real as it gets. But when it comes to our individual personalities, we're not gonna act like some fucking like hardened like
dick bag with like a battle vest on, throwing punches and cursing you out when you fall. Like, no, we're not doing
no.
And you know that's true because the moonwalk thing, the little recording of it actually happened.
It did happen, bro.
Me and Aiden were like, me and Aiden were jamming.
Billie
and this guy
Jean.
who's in that.
I'm hitting the moonwalk. They started playing Billie Jean, and I know how to dance Michael Jackson.
He
So
did that in the pit.
It's all about
In the pit.
at the debut show.
it's all about letting your personality shine through enough, man. Because people gotta love you for you and not for what you're trying to perceive as some like evil Satanist that's gonna sacrifice a
Something that
virgin.
you're not like
Yeah.
you're some cool guy in the corner.
Because even so, you like, I think that still like happens once in a while where people like look at the image of the I guess like the names and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, it's satanic. But like, no.
Oh no, bro. That's why you let your personality shine through, because it can be kind of a gateway for people who don't mess with the music. Like if they see us kind of just doing regular ass human things, they're not gonna
be so like the gatekeeping thing. They're not gonna be so like not scared, but they're not gonna be like
They're
like,
intimidated by like.
they'll be a
oh,
little more open because it's a regular dude.
Like that looks cool, but
They're
I'm not
more
really dressed
likely-
for it. Like
they're more likely to come up to you because they're more likely to come up and say, "Hi, you did a good job," than if you were like,
Yeah.
like if you were just like this
Tell-
the entire time.
tell them the story of debut, Mr. Chicago.
Oh,
That was
dude.
a
Dude.
great example of a debut
see,
show.
that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously at our debut, I was talking to the crowd and all that. Like, you got to interact with them. I was talking to everybody before and after a set, talking to everybody.
Thanking everyone.
People were comfortable enough to come be like, hey, y'all did fucking good. Some dude had come up saying like he lived completely out of state. This was his first ever show. He was like, man, y'all kicked ass. Like,
I didn't know what to expect. Like, like how long you guys been a band? Asking us
Like-
questions. Like, if a genuine fan who had been like,
listeners for years.
listening for years, be like, dude, I can't believe I just saw you guys.
That's the
where-
goal.
Like, how long have you been playing? How many shows have you played? And
Like-
we're just like,
If you're comfortable enough
Their
to
debut.
bro,
My debut, first time.
if you're comfortable enough to come like interrogate us about everything, that's what we want. We want
Yeah.
if we want anybody who wants to say something to us, like come talk to us, man. If we're because we promise we don't bite. We really don't.
If anything, we're gonna
That's
make
what-
endless jokes all night, man. We're here to have a good
That's
time.
what happened this last time with my dad, because my dad was up there in the little stands at Viva taking pictures of us, and he got one picture of me where I'm hitting like the stankest face and it looks nasty. But there was people coming up and it was like, hey, these guys were really cool. You manage them or what? And it was like,
I'm just his
No,
dad.
bro,
he,
we're
he
just
said
taking
this. He said
pictures.
this word for word. He was like, "Those two are my sons, and those two are my adopted."
Those two
He
are
said that.
adopted, and those two are like actual
Like-
sons.
Yeah,
Like-
and then he was like, they were like, "How long have you been playing?" And then
their first show.
Yeah, it was like, no, this is their second show.
Oh, second. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, yeah, and then they were like, "How old is that drummer? He looks really young," and he was like 14. And they were like,
Like if you can just feel comfortable enough to come talk, that's all we want, man.
Yeah.
Because we don't. That's all it's about. 'Cause, again, we're not gonna hurt nobody.
Be more approachable.
And we've had, and I don't know about everybody, but me too. I'm pretty sure everybody's had bad experiences with pretty shitty people. You know, people being mean, people being
Like they.
put down. You know, you don't just
Put the
don't
ego
be
down.
So annoying. Don't be put down. Don't think you're better and arrogant. You just come up with personality shine. If you want to be friends, if you want to talk around, we'll talk around the show and all that. Do that because that's what the show is meant for.
Yeah,
Everybody's meant to
exactly.
have fun. Come make connections, have jokes, go crazy in the pit, fucking, and then afterward, dap each other up, have a good night. We'll see each other next time at the next show, man. That's really what it is. There's not too much to it. A lot of people try to find a lot more into it. People try to find fame. People try to find maybe some of the other more wrong things. People try to look too much
Yeah.
into the drugs and the alcohol. People try to look too much into the partying.
And that's,
not
that's
what it
something
is,
that I
man.
would tell people to be very careful with because it's gotten people in trouble.
It can be kind of scary, and it can be very worrying because
Yeah.
it can not worrying, but like, dude, don't get caught up in that. And we've had
Yeah.
other bands come up to us, like especially I'm gonna say the name Dumog. Dumog's been a very big help with establishing us. They've been very helpful to us, very friendly people. They come up to us after the show, especially Rob. Shout out Rob. He's like, don't get caught up in this world, man. Don't go on the wrong path. Keep doing what y'all are doing. I see what y'all are doing. Have fun. Keep playing shows the way you are. Keep it like that, and everything is
Yeah,
hunky
and
dory.
word will spread about like how you guys are because like I'm someone who talks with different people from the scene and I start hearing stories about different bands and I'm like, okay, this band's good, this band's
Maybe this band's a little questionable. Maybe this.
So like news does word does spread about like how you guys are, and I mean you guys are great. So like you shouldn't have too much issues with that, but like just be aware that that does happen.
Very aware.
And I would tell any band like watching this, just be aware that the way you guys act, even if you think you're in private, like it's gonna come out.
Nothing's ever private in this scene, man.
Never,
Yeah.
bro. Never.
Everybody's
Be ready for
off.
anything.
Everybody knows everybody, man.
Yeah, because the guy I interviewed before you, like yesterday or the day before yesterday, he was telling me like some bands that he's been a bodyguard or a bouncer, and that he's seen like how some bands acted, that some of them are growing like a god complex.
Oh man,
He didn't say the names, but I know who it is, and I'm not gonna mention names. But like,
even if you don't mention names, this scene is tight enough that people know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
Or
Yeah.
they
So,
at
like,
least
when
have a
you-
general idea.
yeah, so like when he started like saying like how they acted and that they were young, I'm like, I already know who they are, and so just be careful. That, always make sure you keep your ego in check. Don't go too crazy. And
I think
yeah,
I think the best advice like that, I think the best advice we've been given and that like we can give to other people is just stay humble, man. As long as you stay humble, people are gonna fuck with you.
yeah.
Whether you
Common sense, please.
like have
It's
common sense.
It's common sense, but some people like they get it through their head because like once you go through that journey of like a bunch of people come up to you like, oh my god, we're friends, and then
You think you're invincible, bro?
Yeah.
you're not, bro.
You're the guy.
I
Yeah.
still go to work. They still go to school. We still got our lives, man. This is
This is just for fun. We just so
Yeah.
happen to play in a band, you know.
And if people actually start to like us more and more and more, and if they want more music,
We'll give them.
more music.
Give him.
yeah,
That's
But-
really just that simple.
I feel like some bands get like this
Idea.
like this kind of like power dynamic
yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
kind of up here and the crowd's down here. Like no, like y'all are on the same damn level, bro.
And it's not just like they don't see that just with crowds, but also other bands.
So, yeah,
Oh,
like, y'all
I
are on the
hate
same
that.
level. It's just that you happen to be on the stage and they're down there enjoying what you're playing.
I hate when other bands like shit on the like others, bro. I hate it so much.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like that makes me more upset than bands being mean to the crowd because like y'all are in this scene together. Like you're making the same music, y'all play shows together, and you're still gonna be a dick.
Still gonna be fighting like this. Y'all are gonna nitpick at each other like this. Not even
do
not,
that, like,
you're not even doing this to the
genuinely,
crowd,
like,
bro.
actually?
Literally, it's all about you. Just gotta get along.
Yeah,
man.
so
It's
just be careful with that as well.
Oh, of course, man. That's something that I've always been kind of not wary of because I know I haven't really had to worry about it, but
Not more
Wary.
so, not more so you guys, but like
Very wary
when you
of.
deal with other bands that are with that attitude.
yeah, we just kind of
Keep your third eye on them.
keep your eyes on look out for yourself and look out for everybody else. That's the goal.
Best interest of everybody.
I'm not sure how much time you guys have for this. I don't want to like run time either. Like waste too much of your time.
No, man. What time is it?
It's 4:52.
We
Hey,
can
man.
run for however long, much longer, man.
No,
we
it's
don't
up to
leave
you.
till tomorrow. If we want to run, we can run like
You,
another.
you
I-
can
I
you
just-
can do whatever you want, bro. Whatever, however long you
It's
think
whatever,
this should go.
All right. I think we should leave it for like there. I think that's a good note to have it on, just to make sure that everybody, they realize like what kind of persons you guys are.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it off, man.
Not sharing too much, but sharing just enough to
Just enough just
let
to
them know
keep-
who we
keep
are. and all
interested.
that.
I think that's really the point of all this.
Yeah, and also like let's say like a year from now, you never know where you guys might be at that point, because again, when I interviewed SK last time, very small, and then like within a year they blew up. So
Oh, they're.
I hope the same for you guys.
I appreciate you, man.
Really do appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Right now you can start plugging in like any upcoming shows you have. It takes like a week for a show to come out from between right now and then, but you guys can promote any upcoming shows.
We
Well-
have one in San Antonio tomorrow if you want to go ahead and come to that one.
Yo, we got
Well,
Yeah, go travel to San Antonio.
No, but go ahead. Aiden.
have a couple.
All the dates.
Dead Fest 3, January 27th, 707.
707.
January
Catch us with Blood Shrine, Duma, Goons, Mankind, Deceivers on it. Like it's a stacked ass bill. There's more.
Mankind, Necrotic, Salchicha, Goons, Dumak, Blood Shrine, and who's that?
Deceiver.
And Deceiver.
Like it's a stacked ass bill. And if y'all are willing to make the drive, man, February 3rd, we're gonna be at the Tandem with Sacrificial Possession, Steeria,
Some big ass bands, man.
Victim Blamed, Leftover Remains.
Sacrificial Possession, Ian and John. Fuck yeah. It's gonna be badass, man. A lot.
Big shit coming.
New Year's got
New
a
Year's,
lot of shit coming.
You're off to a great start already.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun, man. Definitely follow us on Instagram too. Under what is
It's
it?
Necrotic _ TXDM.
Yes, and
I'll
it's
make
gonna
sure to like have it on the bottom of the YouTube video.
Appreciate you, man.
Personals are on there. If y'all want to send any messages, reach out to us. Let us know if you like the music. Want to just chit chat? Anything, man. We're just like y'all. We are just like y'all. We love music, and that is really it, man. We are fans too.
Like what he said, we don't bite. Like,
Not bite.
We might,
Don't
but
bite. We might.
we ain't poisonous, we ain't venomous.
appreciate you having us, man. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
It really has. Thank you.
Good
It
time,
really
yeah.
has.
It's very
Appreciate
fun.
you guys.
Yeah. For my end, I will be having a show as well on February 10th. I'll be bringing down Archer O from SoCal, Southern California. great guys. If you didn't catch them last time they came over, they came with Shirley Temple, another great band. This lineup will have Canada Dealers, Gumwood, and JD Corners. So make sure you guys purchase a ticket. Thank you.
I'm excited to go to that show, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And there's another show I have that I'm working on, but I can't announce it publicly. But I'll tell you guys once.
All right, then.
Alrighty.
Nice. Again, good.